Hello, hello, hello. We are back for another episode of using up those 12 by 12 paper pads. I'm getting to the bare minimum on these particular packs, but I have a few left over there on my shelf. So I'll spend some time coffee dyeing the backs of them because most of them are single-sided as well. So I do want to get through those first before I really break into the double-sided ones. This is a video I watched on Scrapbooking with Me, and she was inspired by Natasha over at Treasure Books. So Natasha did like an accordion folio type thing using these folds. Edith at Scrapbooking Me tweaked it a little bit and made them as pockets to go into a journal, and that is what we're going to copy today. I'm tweaking that even a little bit more. Miss E started 8x8. So she cut her 12 by 12s down to 8x8, but that leaves you 4-inch and a 4-inch scrap. I'm going to do 6x6. That way I can use the entire page. So when these go up for sale on my Etsy shop, you'll have two. It'll be 2 pocket sets. So let me first get my paper pad out. And I picked coordinating colors. So I have these 2 together. These 2 together. These 2 together. And then these 2 together. I'm hoping this one turns out the way, but we'll see. And again, ideally, you would have non-directional paper. That doesn't seem to exist much in my stash. So I'm going to cut each of these down to a 6x6. And I am doing 2 pages at a time just to save time. Do you think it'll do all 4 of them? I got to remember some of my pages are not 12 by 12 starting out. I'll split these. We do them 2 and 2. Excuse me, birdies. These ones. Actually, when I sell these, you'll get 4. These will go up on my Etsy after the video airs, which will be on April 27th. Now these ones I am going to ink only because unlike other ones that I've done, once they're folded and glued, there's no way for you to ink. Okay, so you're going to start out with your squares. You're going to take one of them and you're going to fold it across at an angle. And you're going to crease those down. Open it up. Bring your corners together, but don't crease it all the way. You're going to crease just in the middle to make your center. Looking for a pencil. Okay, and then for me, I'm just going to mark the center so I can know where it's at. Okay. Then you're going to fold your corners in into that center point. You want to try to get them as straight as you can. This would also work. I am using lightweight scrap of paper, cardstock, but it will work with regular paper. You can use it on digitals because a lot of this is going to be glued together. It does give some strength to your paper. If you're using like a regular copy paper weight. Okay. And you're going to do that for two pieces. You can have the same piece over and over if you prefer. So that they're the same on both sides. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to do a mix and match. Since I am working out of a paper pack that I can tell, you know, they're gonna almost naturally coincide. I do like to go opposite sides each other. You can go in just in a circle if that's, you know, what you choose. That one did not. I'm guessing this is going to be one of those pages that is not quite even. Okay. Not super bothered by this being a solid white because it's okay. Now you're going to open up all of your pieces, and you've got two pieces that have a crease down the center. So they're creased right here. And then you've got two that don't have the creases. The parts that don't have creases, you're going to leave open. And the parts that do, you're going to glue down. No, I said that backwards. The parts that don't have creases, you're going to glue down. Hold on. Yes, the parts that don't have creases, glue down. I left my glue open last night, so it's a little sticky this afternoon, I guess. Why do I feel like I'm doing this backwards? Day, far away from. It's hard for me to say I'm sorry. I totally watched this video before I started this too. I rewatched it because it's been a while. Fold those in. This folds over. So one of these is not supposed to be glued down. Because it glues like this. But we're going to do this one a little different because now I got glue in places that I don't want glue to be. Okay. You fold these in and then you fold it back on itself. So then you have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. Now, if I'd have done this correctly the first time, you would have another pocket right here in the center where, and then this would open up this way and you'd have more, even more pockets. But I goobered this one up. So I'm going to go back on what I was saying earlier because I messed that one up. Oh, I think I have more paper. I'll have to look. If I have more paper and I can do a better. Yeah, see, this didn't. Yeah, this must be the paper that's not quite 12 inches when I pull the branding tab off. I didn't notice it when I did the first one. Either that they weren't exactly lined up. You want to be, as you saw, folding those first ones, you want it to be as accurate. You want your folds to be as precise as possible, just to avoid things not quite lining up. There's that one. And there's that one. Mark my center there. Give a good burnish. Okay. Fold these out. Now, where I messed up last time is in how we put these together. So you're going to take two and you're going to glue your flaps together. I'm going to glue this white one because it's plain and white. So I'm going to use that flap to attach. But you're not going to glue the whole flap. You're only going to go from the folded edge to the tip and back, because this is creating that center pocket. Then you got to decide which way you want to fold this. Doesn't, in this case, it doesn't matter because the inside is coffee dyed. If this was a double-sided, you'd want to decide whether you liked the way this way looked or this way looked better. I said, in this case, it doesn't matter. This flap, you're going to glue completely down. And again, these are the flaps that do not have that center fold, don't have that crease in it. That's going to fold in and meet. I'm going to flip this around and do this side. Do some burnishing, get y'all squished down. Okay, fold in, fold in. This folds up. This folds up. This folds back. You can see it's cracking everywhere. But you have a pocket here. You're going to glue here and here, here and here. See, I should have inked ahead of time, but I guess person that gets it wants to ink, they can stick a piece of paper in here and do the edges like normal, like, you know, same. Here we're going to glue here and here. I should have my clips out, but I don't. And this is working out the way I was hoping, and that the white, which was the center of that Valentine's image, would hang out on the inside, which it does. Okay. Reach into my, get into my bottom drawer real quick and get my clips out. All right, apparently there was nothing quick about that. Just gonna put some clips here. It is thick, so the glue, you know, I could sit here and hold it, but for the sake of the video, that's, you know, let's not. So I'm gonna set that aside. Let's work on the next one while we wait for that one to dry. This one's not straight either. So this video will be airing April 27th. Which will be the first weekend after my kids have gone home. My house is probably still in a shambles, is going to be my guess. It's just, what happens, but 3 kids plus my oldest son, when him and his wife both come, they bring their 2 dogs with them, which is going to be kind of nice because I'm down 2 dogs. And so instead of having 5 dogs running around my house, I'm only going to have, 1 big one and 2 little ones. I think that'll at least be a little less stressful. I mean, sad, but stressful. She wasn't able to come at Thanksgiving because she had just started a new job and couldn't get time off. I'm just going to go in a circle with this one. But they essentially are 4. My middle child, him and his wife, they leave their cat at home. I don't know how that would, I don't think that would go over very well if they were to bring their cat with them. Arrow's okay with the cats that live inside the house, but the outside cats, he's not so nice to. So I don't imagine he would accept a stranger cat into his home. But their cat's kind of a brat, shall we say. She's very much an only child. So that they come on their own. They come and stay for 2 weeks when they come over, because they're coming from several hours away. And this is the norm. They come and stay with us for 2 weeks during the Easter-ish time. I put glue on the wrong spot there. Okay, let me get the glue off here. I put it on the wrong triangle. And her mom, her family lives over where they're at, over by where they are. So her mom comes and takes care of their cat while they're here. So they're 2, but they're here for the full 2 weeks. My oldest, when he comes, they come just for the weekend. Because ultimately they can't, afford to take more time off than that. And then my youngest, she has a whole crew with her. There's her and Mina, my granddaughter. You guys have heard her on past videos. And then her boyfriend, Jared. And their I don't know what to call her, roommate, who has a baby. So when they come, provided everybody can get time off of work, they can be as many as 5. However, they will only be coming for Easter Sunday, more than likely. Maybe coming up Saturday night, depending upon when Sierra can get, if she can get Saturday off or what, because she works nights. She doesn't get off work until 11 at night. Whereas Jared is off on Saturdays and Sam is a day shift. So if Sierra can get that Saturday off, they'll probably come up on Saturday and spend the night. But needless to say, when this time of year happens, it's crazy at my house because I go from it just being myself, my husband, and our animals. Suddenly we're a whole house full of people. So this being the first weekend that I'll have post that, it's time to breathe. Because, yeah, I love when my kids come. But boy, is it stressful, and it's nice to have my house back after it's over. Okay, I'm going to clip these. This one should be good. Okay. So you have, this opens up. You have a pocket here, a pocket here. Didn't realize I had two pieces. Pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here. Folds up. You have a pocket here, pocket here. Flip it over, pocket here, a pocket here. Plus, on the edge here, you've got a pocket here, pocket here. That's a rectangle. And then you've got this one right here in the middle. That's a shallow pocket, and it's triangular because this is the one where you glue the triangles together. So you got a pocket there, a pocket there, there. Now, if you wanted to, you could glue this piece and this be a big pocket as well. But again, this is not a thin piece. Using the thick scrapbook paper, it is 3/16 of an inch. So almost a 1/4 inch thick. This is thick going into a journal. Like I said, you can use lightweight scrapbook paper. You can use digitals that are printed on copy weight paper, and it'll do the same thing. And because you're doing all the extra gluing, it's going to give it some thickness. The only place I would be concerned is in these little flaps, because those are going to be single. So might want to consider that if you're using copy weight paper, giving some stability to that somehow. But little flappy thing. Now, imagine this is going into your journal. You could, I just avalanched something off my desk. You could put it into a pocket, like so. Or, this seems to always be my sample. You go like this and put a clip around it and clip it to the edge of your paper. But it'd be a good one on the top of your paper, because a lot of times us journal makers, we tend to put things all on the bottom and we forget about the top. So then when we close the journal, the bottom is super fat and the top is super skinny. So having things like this that you can hang on the top would help balance that out a bit. So something else to keep in mind for that. So we're at 29 minutes. Let's do another one. Okay. I like where these ones are landing. This one's a little off. is weird because it's from the same paper pad. Double check this one. Now with this, there will not be any leftovers to like make tags and stuff. So hopefully you find stuff to coordinate in your own stash. Got a big old glob of glue stuck to my fingertip, driving me a little bonkers. Giving a quick little burnish there. Could I have done that with my card? Absolutely. Okay. That's what I got it out for, right? Burnish. Now, in this case, you got to decide, I need to decide which flap is going to glue to which. So I'm going to glue this one to this one. So again, just that angle. Creating that shallow center pocket. Okay. And we're going to glue these two flaps and this flap all the way down. So you can do this with any size paper that starts out, whatever size it starts out. You just need to make sure that you're starting out with a square. So it could be a 4-inch square if you want them to be smaller. In fact, my sample that I have in my book was with 4-inch squares. 8-inch. If you want them to be bigger, do them in a 10-inch square. Even as a 12-inch, I wonder, I don't know what size they would turn out to be if you did it with the full 12-inch. I don't know if it would fit in a journal or not. So getting those all glued down. Right. And we're going to fold these flaps back in. We're going to fold it back and back. Well, it'd be like this, folding it back and back. And then back on itself. Okay. So then you have this. Looks like this. Glue your little pockets here. And here. Nice. get some cookies out. So this one has the mandala on this side and the flowers on this side. Flowers on one side, mandalas on the other. This one's got the flowers on one side and the squiggles on the other. This one's got polka dots and a little bit of Valentine stuff. This one's got pink, red, and white hearts. All right, time for one more? Sure do. Let's do the last one, which is the nautical series. So it's got birds in flight. And then this will look cool. I don't know what to call that. But it was the only one that really matched the birds. So. And again, I'm going to have to trim my papers. I think I've said before that my trimmer doesn't cut straight. I'm pretty sure that's probably why they went on sale. I got it at a really good price. Funny story was I took my vehicle in for, not haha funny, but I took my vehicle in for servicing. I had an appointment. It was an 8 o'clock appointment. I showed up there at 7:30 and they were already 3 hours behind. Go figure that one out. Well, I didn't feel like sitting in the dealership all that time waiting for my truck. So I went across the street and I went shopping. So there's across the street from the dealership, there's a dollar store, there's a craft warehouse. There was another thrift store over there at the time. It's not there anymore. But I was like, all right, I'll just go wander around. Wasn't planning on buying anything because I was like, hello, I'm spending a bunch of money to have my truck serviced. Well, I came across the all-in-one, this thing, the all-in-one by We Are Memory Keepers, I think is the name of it, the name of the company. Well, it works great, except it's a little off. So when I butt a piece of paper up against the grid, so when I'm cutting paper, normally you would butt it all the way up against this, right? If I do that, in fact, you can see how crooked it is. So I have to line it up with this line to get it straight. See, now it's straight. But if I was to line it up with that, it's crooked. So I can't cut. If I cut and then I go like this, I can't cut. It'll not be a 90 degree. And I end up with a cattywampus square. I bought myself one and I bought my daughter one because they were such good prices. Hers and mine both have the same problem. So I think that's why they were on sale. Somebody probably complained about it. And anybody that had that specific model number or batch number or whatever, put them on clearance to get them sold. Now, it's frustrating because it, doesn't work the way it's supposed to, but I work with it. I deal with it. It's like, it is what it is. Everything else works fine. I don't use it as a scoreboard. It does have that feature, but I like my big scoreboard and glue in that triangle. Um, I like my big scoreboard, so I don't use the scoring feature on that all-in-one. It has a stamping platform, which I've actually never used. That's what these little magnets are for. They push down. There's a little plastic plate that goes on here. It's back there on the shelf, but it magnets on here, and then you put your paper and you magnet it down. No clue where my magnets are, but you magnet your paper down, put your stamp on the back of the stamping platform, and then you ink it and you go boop, and these push down and it pushes your magnet into your paper. You've got these little punchers over here. So you got an envelope punch, a tab punch, and then, or this is a tab punch and this is a tag punch, which I've never actually used. Oh, it's just putting the hole in the center of the tag. So it's got measurements going out each side, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, so that you can center your tag, put the hole in the center. And then it's got this nifty little thing down here that helps you cut the angles on the tags, as well as making envelopes and banners. I use this a lot. It makes pom-poms, but I'm missing one of these. There should be 2 of them in here, or 4 altogether, but I'm missing one. Don't know where it's at. This is the other problem that we came across, is that the blade likes to fall off. Pop it back on there. As hard as it is to get it off, it's crazy that it just randomly pops off on its own. But these go in here for making pom-poms. So it is a nifty little tool. Just a lot of the pieces I don't use. But it was cheaper than buying a paper cutter. So I bought it. And it ended up, turns out I should have just spent the extra money on a Fiskars paper cutter. So let's get these glued down. Get this one glued down. And again, doesn't matter which way I glue this one because it's just copy dyed on the inside. If it was double-sided, you would probably want to take a little more time in figuring out which way you want that center flap to go, since it is going to be visible, right? When you fold it back on itself, that's that center fold. So if it was double-sided, you would be able to see this flap. Fold those. Fold this back on itself, because again, it's that center flap. Opens up. If you choose to have those open. We're going to glue here. Glue here. We'll pull this over. Glue there. Glue there. Squish them together. These are handy little clips. I got them on Temu. at this whole bucket. The bucket I bought is something from somewhere else, but I got like 100 of these little clips for, I don't know, like just a couple bucks. A good little investment for this, for crafting. Let's pull these ones. Okay. So again, we have pocket here, pocket here, pocket here, pocket here. Open it up. You got a pocket there, pocket there, pocket there, pocket there, and then on the back, pocket here, pocket here, and pocket there. So in total, if you leave this center open, you've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 pockets and one little piece. Pretty cool, huh? There's the inside of that one. Tried to glue itself closed. So if you want this all to be looking the same, instead of using 2 coordinating, use 2 of the same. If you're going to do them in a 6x6. 6x6 made the most sense to me. So that's why I did it that way. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of Using Up Your 12x12s. This is the end of April. I hope your year is, hope your year is going good so far. Do all those YouTube things for me, the likes, the subscribes, hit that notification bell. That way you always know when my videos drop. And feel free to share my content to anybody and everybody that you think would enjoy watching my channel. We'll talk to you later. Bye. I'm on StreamYard. I got to end it up here, not with my camera. Bye again.